Hey everyone, welcome back to Drive Protected. My name is Eric, and in today's video we got this 2019 Chevy Camaro ZL1 behind me. We wrapped this car in our Defense Plus paint protection film going back about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a bulk PPF install on the rear bumper. Now you're probably wondering, why are you installing PPF on the rear bumper if you've already wrapped it? And that's because I made a mistake. The film is starting to lift up, and this does happen from time to time. And although I do my very best to make sure that this does not happen, I made a mistake and the film's starting to lift up. And I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit as well too. So this video, bulk rear bumper. The reason I'm going bulk and not pre-cut template, I personally did not like the way the pre-cut template installed last time. So I'm honestly not too terribly surprised that there's some kind of lifting, and I probably should have just bulked it the first time around, but nonetheless, let me show you guys exactly what happened and then we'll get into the install. All right, here we are. We got the rear bumper at the back of the car here. And as you can see, we had a relief cut in the pattern right over here, and the PPF lifted up. And there's all kinds of dirt and debris that's already gotten in there. This was a high tension area on the bumper when I did my installation. And I remember heating it up, post heating it a lot with the heat gun. Obviously, I did not do a good enough job either prepping it or post heating, because it should not lift up like that. And plus, you can also tell that that is not done by a pressure washer, because if it was done by a pressure washer, it would look far more extreme than this. This has kind of been a slow lift over the course of the last few weeks. So we got this area right here that we need to deal with. By deal with, I'm going to remove the entire bumper, or the PPF off the bumper, and then I'm going to replace the PPF. And then we also have to trim right up top over here too. So I wrapped the PPF underneath there, and that being a high tension area, same thing. I must have not prepped properly or done enough post heating. So unfortunately, these types of mistakes do happen as a professional PPF installer. I'm going to do my best to make sure that this does not come back. So let's get into the install. Okay, so we're going to get started installing the PPF here on the rear bumper of the Camaro. When I did my introduction on this video, I showed how the PPF was lifting up right over here by the relief cut. On a pre-cut template install, normally you would start in the middle of the bumper and you'd kind of stretch your way outwards. And on a bulk paint protection film install, you would tack down on one side, stretch all the way over to the other side, and then you can squeegee out from side to side. It doesn't really matter where you start. But however, on this bumper, because of how much tension would be required to stretch from end to end to get the PPF to lay down flat, I'm actually gonna start in the middle and then work our way out. So I've never done this before, so you guys are doing this with me for the first time. We're just gonna see how this is gonna go. So I'm gonna grab my tack solution. So my tack solution is just hot water. I got my True Spray keg system here with my slip solution in it. I'm just getting more slip solution behind the film. This is going to help the squeegee glide properly. Now, as you can see, we got fingers right across the top here. So what I want to do is I kind of want to stretch the film enough that these fingers lay down basically flat for me. As I do that, the film, you can see how the film starts to suck itself in underneath the bumper here, which is perfect. That's basically what you want. So I'm just gonna take my squeegee, I'm gonna pull the film back, I'm gonna get some tack solution behind the film, and then I'm just gonna stretch this out again. Okay, that's not working as great as I thought it would. And I have to really soak it with tack solution, I think, to get it to stick. I'm just gonna hold that there until I can, there we go. There we go, that's what we want. That's sticking nicely there. That's perfect. Now I can come over here, I can lift the film up, and I can stretch the film out a little bit further. So right now, as As you can see, the PPF lifted up right where we tacked down already, which is not what we want. It is what it is, and it happens. Bit of a tricky area. I want to get the majority of this tacked down before I take my knife and start doing any relief cuts. There we go, that's good. I'm going to lift the film up here. And I'm going to start squeegeeing everything down and kind of pushing everything up. Because for the most part, I got this ridge, this body line down. So I don't want to run the risk of pushing anything else through there that doesn't need to be there. Go, just getting this nice and locked down over here. That's good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lift the PPF up here. You can see as I stretch the film down, this finger goes away, which is exactly what I want. And I've got that same finger over here on the other side of the vehicle too. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my knife out. I'm just gonna take and cut some of the excess PPF away, just so I have better access to that area. So I just sprayed my tack solution there. I'm just gonna pull the film down, and then I'm just gonna hold it in place right here. And I'm gonna come in with my squeegee and squeegee that down. That should, in theory, be good for now. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing over here as well too. There we go, that's good. This is lifting up again. So I'm just gonna come in here, squeegee that down one more time with my tack solution. Okay, so now I think we're good. What I can do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna make a relief cut. So the PPF is gonna come down right about till there. So I'm gonna pop my blade out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the film back up top here. Just going to spray my tack solution over here. I'm going to squeegee everything down off this ridge. There we go. Now, here's where I had all kinds of problems. I didn't do enough proper post heating last time. Just right over here, there was a relief cut. Now I'm gonna do my best to try and get away with doing a big, massive relief cut down there. So I'm actually gonna extend my relief cut over here on this side. And then I'm gonna pull the film back. I'm gonna spray my tack solution behind the film. And then just with my hands, I'm gonna try and get the film to sit down in this area. And you know what? It's okay if there's a bit of an adhesive line or a squeegee line. At the end of the day, the license plate's going to cover over here anyway, so that's good. That's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to take and get rid of more of this excess PPF that's sitting on the bottom here. Just the less stuff that's in the way, the better. Pinch the PPF right here. And I'm just going to trim off more of this excess material. Thing with this is you can always trim off more. If you like, just trim off just a little bit. If you need to trim off more, then you totally can. Where if you get too terribly carried away, you trim off too much, you're kind of screwing yourself over for later on in your installation, where if you all of a sudden need more material, it's gone, you don't have it. So I have been there many times. It's not fun when you're doing an install and you realize, oh hey, I need more material, and then you go and look and you realize, well, I don't have any room. I don't have any more. Now I'm just working the film down around this corner here. That's good. Now you're probably wondering what I'm going to do up top here. Well, since I'm going to run the risk of having an adhesive line there, I'm actually going to pull the film back just a little bit further. Now I'm going to hit it with more tack solution. And then just with my squeegee, I'm going to take and squeegee this all down up top here. Now, I am concerned that this will pop up again, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a small relief cut here when I'm actually done my installation. Until then, I'm just going to leave this, see if this pulls back. But at the end of my install, I might come down about 1 inch or 2 just over there, just to try and release some of that tension. But right now, we've got this part down. I'm going to move you guys right over here to the middle of the bumper, and you can watch me do this right here. All right, so now all I'm doing is I just got more tack solution underneath the film. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm just going to make this cut a little bit bigger. Pull the film back, got more tack solution behind it. Now I'm going to, same thing I did before, I'm going to start at the bottom with my squeegee, and just going to run my thumb right along here. I'm going to have to do more than just my thumb to get that down. There we go. Got that down. Now I'm just going to go over that area multiple times with my squeegee just to make sure that that's down and that's not going to pop itself up. Now, I do have to trim out the holes where the license plate went. We'll do that at the very end of the install, but now I'm gonna pick the film up here. I'm gonna hit it with my tack solution. And then I'm just gonna take my squeegee and I'm gonna squeegee this film down kind of in a side to side sawing motion, just because I want to get rid of these fingers that are right here. Get more tack solution underneath the film here. And we're just going to lock that down, squeegee it in place. Now we're going to come back up top here. Just going to spray more tack solution underneath the film. I'm going to lock that down and hold that into place. And there we go. This whole middle section is down. And now we can start working end to end. So we're gonna do the passenger side of the bumper first. Now that we have the middle down, now we can start working towards the outside. And as you can see, we've got the PPF. There's a whole bunch of fingers over there that need to be dealt with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the film back. Soaking it down with my slip solution. Spraying the actual bumper down as well too. Now, before I get ready to do my big stretch, what I need to know is how much to stretch. So it's gonna be kind of hard because I want to make sure you guys see exactly what I'm doing, so I'm probably gonna be looking back and forth a number of times. With all the slip solution that is behind the film, I know that I can stretch and the PPF is gonna glide properly. So now just super carefully, I'm just gonna do a gradual stretch. Pre-stretch, I'm just gonna hold that. Now, I know my squeegee is gonna have to glide properly on top of the PPF. So I'm spraying that down. Then I'm gonna come over here and I wanna tack the PPF down to the rear fender once I have it stretched into place. So, I'm gonna stretch. Hold that there. I'm actually going to hook the PPF around the actual rim of the car as well too. Just going to let the tack solution kind of bite itself in place. This is usually the most stressful part about it because as you can see as I'm letting go, the actual PPF wants to kind of let go. So I'm going to come over here, lift the PPF back onto the actual rear fender, get tack solution behind the film. I'm just going to lock it down in place. Again, easier said than done. Now, what I want to do is I got all these fingers over here. We're gonna deal with them as we need to. But right now, I want to pull the film up. And I want to make sure I can push the air pockets out, get rid of the air that's left behind under the film. You can see I'm pulling the film up a little bit to help kind of disperse these fingers. So what I'm actually going to do is get my tack solution. I'm going to come around up here. I'm going to lift the film up. I'm going to pull it a little bit higher. Just going to tack that in place onto the rear fender, and that's going to help flatten out these fingers that are right here. So now we're ready to start squeegeeing everything into place. So I'm gonna start over here and I'm gonna start working my way forward. So I'm gonna start right here in this valley where the big giant air pocket was. I'm gonna squeegee along that body line multiple times to make sure that there is no solution left behind. Okay, and that's good. Now what I can do is come up along the top here by the rear tail light. I can trim off some of the excess PPF, and then so we're squeegeeing everything into place. I'm just being very careful. I'm not gonna cut into the tail light at all. This part doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you're not cutting into the actual tail light. So I'm just taking my tack solution, spraying it behind the PPF. And then just gonna lock this down. Film squeegeed down and locked into place behind the tail light. Now I actually need to take and trim some more off. So I'm just going to pull it away from the vehicle. Trim a bit more. That is good. Okay, now we can worry about getting this down over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to release the PPF from the wheel here. Okay, that's good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray some tack solution behind the film. I'm going to keep my tension on it. Now I'm just going to take my hand, do my best to massage the air pockets out the best that I can. That's good. Now, I'm going to start to release the tension that's on the fender as well too. And then, I'm going to release the film up here. Just because I want to get some more tack solution behind the fender, because the rear bumper actually sits in a little bit more than the rear fender. The rear fender sits out. So just want to get that down and into place. And there we go. That's good for this side. I actually got to deal with that area right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my knife. I'm going to come along here. I'm going to pull the film away from the vehicle. And I'm just barely going to take and get my blade out. Now, I'm going to take and get this all squeegeed down. All right, there we go. That's good. Now let's go do the other side. Okay, so we're over here on the driver's side of the vehicle. I'm gonna pull the film back. I'm gonna start spraying my slip solution behind the film. And we're gonna do the exact same thing we did on the driver's side. Right now I'm going to start off with my pre-stretch just to kind of get this film into place. And that's good. Now I'm going to spray my tack solution on the rear fender, get my squeegee handy. I'm just going to pull and lay this down flat. Now I'm just holding this here. Sometimes this can be a bit tricky, so I'm just going to put my knee on the tire. Just going to hold that there for a bit. I'm actually going to tack this to the lower part of the rear bumper here. That's going to relax some of the film over here. These fingers, super minor, those will be easy to deal with. Now I'm just going to lift the film up here a bit. Tack that film down. There we go, that's good. Now, we're going to start again right over here. First thing I'm going to do is push the air out from underneath the film, just with my hands. Then I'm going to come in with my squeegee. I'm going to squeegee everything out of that little valley area. And then I'll put a bit of tack solution behind the film here. There we go, that's good. Now, I'll do my best to do this while getting out of your way. We're gonna come along here, and we're just gonna squeegee everything down. This is what I enjoy about doing bulk PPF installs, is when you have the film stretched out and glassed into place, and it comes time to squeegee, you can just squeegee and just go to town on it. So that's a lot of fun. Now I'm going to release the film over here. You can see how that just popped up. So I'm spraying my tack solution underneath the film here. Just going to stretch that down into place. Now, just this lower rear bumper diffuser piece is really causing some minor headaches for me. We got it down. There we go, that's good. Now I can pull the film back up here. And I can just start to get this film down. Just a small piece of contamination right there that just had to quickly pop out. All right, now I'm going to release the film up top here, just so I can get some tack solution behind the film. Get that squeegee down. Now, I'm going to take my knife and we're going to release some of the film over here. Pull that down because that's pulling nicely. All right, there we go. Okay, so the PPF is fully installed on the bumper. Now what's left is, get rid of that air bubble there. What's left is I'm gonna go around and do all my trimming and post heating. I'm not gonna show you guys any of that, but I will show you guys the finished product. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more paint protection film content.